Bouquet in Blue, completed by Penny Olive, my very first show quilt. It has been turned in, so we'll see what happens, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot as to what needs to be improved on and what I can do to really enhance my quilts. So Bouquet in Blue was completed on the Hoffman ombre fabric. Normally I would use silk, but I loved how I got so many different shades and feelings with the ombre fabric. I love it. And the background quilting is harder to see on video, but not so bad in person, and it really adds variety to it. So the darker blue was a little harder to utilize, but I love the drama that it gave to it. The main section was completed with the orange peels was done with the Linda Herka rulers by the Quilted Pineapple. Love her rulers. That created that circle and the orange peels within the circle, which created even more drama here. I added quilt blocks, the one main quilt block, and then quilt blocks within the quilting, because I wanted to keep it truly quilt block related. And though I didn't have it in any piecing, I really liked how that was tied in. Lumiere paints by Jacquard were used for all of the flowers in the quilt block, any painting. Although for the yellow daisies, the cream daisies, and then these pretty orange flowers, and anything yellow, I had to add textile paints, because if they make them, I could not find the metallic paints in these colors. So I worked to try to figure out what to do, and that's what I came up with. Around anywhere in the orange peels or the circle that do not have the flowers or something painted and such is all finished with stippling. So it really, it looks like kind of looks like it's painted in a way, but it's really pressed down so that the flowers shine. And there's stippling outside of it before you get to the feathers. I used heirloom feathers around it, and then they are echoed inside and out. I also used a double spine here as well. And I made a template by drawing my horizontal and vertical lines and then my diagonals. And then I drew the shape that I wanted from a horizontal line to a diagonal, made a template, and continued to rotate that around the quilt so that my border of the feathers is uniform. But wanted to add variety, so we put flowers up at the top, and instead of just continuing around the bottom, we brought it together to kiss the two little drops in the bottom, and flowed the purple flowers on through out of the center motif and down through the feathers. Of course, most of you have seen, oops, sorry, my clock decided to go off. Most of you have seen the background fill all the way around, so I moved from flower type to flower type, added in a heavy background fill around those, and that developed all of the background design. Came into the feathers with splays, really liked that. Really, really, really made the feathers stand out. And then I had a hard time deciding what to do with the butterflies. Well, we did add crystals. I added crystals first. And my friend Cherie helped me with that, and really deciding where to put those out so that they just weren't randomly placed. The whole idea was to draw anything that you saw, drew you back to the center of the quilt. That was the goal. Then really worked on the butterflies. That proved to be a little bit traumatic, but we ended up with using my embroidery machine with the free-flowing butterflies taken from Embroidery Library. And these are realistic butterflies, and I verified that, looked them up once I found the names. So I tried to come close to what they had and tied in a larger butterfly with these big orange flowers. And you can't tell, but tried to make it realistic, bent back that little edge of the wings a little bit. And then wanted more yellow, so picked out one that had yellow in it to bring into the rest of the flowers. So we added just a little bit more color to the blue. And yet the butterflies also have a tad bit of orange to tie them back into the other butterflies. And if I turn this around, it's going to fall down, so I'm going to pull it off and let you look at it. But first, before I do, we took Fairy Frost is what I believe this golder fabric is, and made a flange, and then put the binding on in a deep dark blue to end the quilt and not allow your eyes, hopefully, to wander beyond that. So the back was done in Hoffman ombre as well, but with a different color. So let's see if I can get this on my table. The back was done in a beautiful, beautiful purple, of course. I love purple. And with the glitter, a lot of the time I matched the glitter thread, but then I also used a 100 weight. I don't know if I mentioned that. The front, everything in the front with the flowers, except for the background stitching and the scribbling, was done in glitter thread by Superior Threads, and I matched those with 60 weight bottom line thread. But then with the background stitching and the scribbling, I used 100 weight micro quilter by Superior Threads, but I used two different shades of blue, a very light and then a somewhat darker, to really add something different so that you just didn't see the same color the whole time. And I think it ended up with a really neat effect. So that is the back. And then just to get you interested in the back, I added a few crystals there as well. So I hope you enjoy Bouquet in Blue, and have a great day.